give me 1 Kings 8, because he's bringing out all these things to y'all about like stuff we're supposed to do, the things that are required of us as Israelites and whatnot. But there's a place that we have to do this at. Like, this is not something that we're to wait and try to do. We have to make haste and do those things now. Read.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 8, verse 47. Yet, if they shall bethink themselves in the land whither they were carried captive.
So it says, if we bethink ourselves, meaning remember who we are in the land that we were carried captive. We were carried captive here. So where we're at now, we have to remember who we are. Read.
And repent and make supplication unto thee in the land of them that carried them captive, saying, we have sinned.
So we have to acknowledge that our people are in the midst of sin. We have to acknowledge that we ourselves have sinned in the land that we're carried captive. We have to make supplication to the Most High. We have to ask for forgiveness because we weren't dealing with each other right. The things he brought out about the gang violence, selling drugs, and stuff like that, we're not dealing with our people correctly when we do that. We're destroying our own communities when we do that. So we have to acknowledge that that's a sin and that we did wrong. Read.
And have done perversely. We have committed wickedness. And so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul.
So with that, we have to return to God with all our heart and all our soul. We have to do it with all our might. Because one of the curses was, give me verse Deuteronomy 28:47. If we didn't serve the God with all our might and all our soul, he's going to make you serve somebody. There's not going to be a scenario where you're not serving nobody. You be like, well, I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to serve God. Well, he's going to make you serve someone. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 47. Bring it out. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things.
Because if we served God and kept the commandments, he would have gave us the abundance of all things. As a nation of people, we don't have the abundance of all things. We're wanting of multiple things. We're out here, we have to work inside the cold weather. We have to go to 9 to 5, live check to check. But if we would have served the Most High God, we wouldn't have to do all those things. Read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
He said, if you don't want to serve me, well, I'm going to make you serve your enemies instead. That's what we're doing today.
That's right.
We're serving the same people who brought us over here in captivity. We're serving those same people. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
It said God sent them against us.
Right.
God sent those people against us. Why? Because he said that we didn't serve him. So he'll make you serve someone. Read.
In hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness.
So whereas God would have gave us the food we needed. He gave us the dietary law, right? Things you can and can't eat. He said, you don't want to follow that? Well, you're going to serve your enemy for food then. You don't want to serve me? You want to serve your enemy in thirst. What happens if you don't pay your water bill? They turn the water off.
Right.
Water comes from the sky. And they say you can't have it. You have to pay for it. Read.
And in want of all things.
Birth certificate, death certificate, driver's license. You have to get a license to drive a car that you bought. You need a permission to drive something that you bought. There's so many different certificates you have to get, but that's all a curse. That's all a curse. But because God said, if you didn't serve me, you're going to serve your enemy for these things.
That's right.
You want an education, you have to go to your enemy.
That's right.
You want to learn religion, you have to go to your enemy. We did. We learned religion from our enemy. This is not from God. This ain't got nothing to do with the Bible.
That's right.
You can't find a description of this man in the Bible.
Teach us.
But where we get that from? Our enemy. God said, you don't want to serve me? You're going to serve your enemy then. You always going to serve something. You just want to, that's why he said, I give you two choices, life and death. Choose ye life. We chose death. Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
It said, he going to put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. The same enemy who did that, he put the yoke of iron on your neck. Until what?
Until he hath destroyed thee.
Until he hath destroyed thee, where he can take the chains off and y'all niggas ain't going nowhere.
Teach us.
You can set them free now. They not going to go nowhere. And where we at today? Still here. Still doing evil. They don't have to manage just like how they used to before. We do it to ourselves. Yes, sometimes they shoot us down the street, but we do it to ourselves most of the time. We do the work for them. They don't have to do it. But that's all a curse. Why? Because we didn't serve the Most High God. Get, what you got? Yeah, go ahead to 1 Kings.
1 Kings, verse 8, verse 48.
Bring it out.
And so return unto thee with all their heart and with all their soul, in the land of their enemies, which led them away captive, and pray unto thee toward their land. which thou gavest to their fathers, the city which thou hast chosen.
It said, and the land, we have to pray towards our land. Our land is towards the east. I bet y'all never knew y'all had to pray towards the east.
That's right.
The scriptures say you have to pray towards your land. Our land is what? Israel. We have to pray towards our land. They never taught you that. Why would they teach you that? You have any questions? Any questions so far? Okay, give me Psalms 119, about to make haste.
Wake him up.
Because knowing this stuff is one thing, doing it is another thing. Because a lot of people know things, but that don't mean they do them. Read.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 60. I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandments.
It said, I made haste and delayed not. It said, I made haste and delayed not to keep thy commandments. He didn't wait to keep the commandments. He said, I'm going to start next week. I learned that today. I'm going to wait till next week and I'm going to get it right. He said, I made haste and he didn't delay. You got to start right now. There's certain things you got to start right now. Give me Matthew 24. We're going to talk about this guy right here. Hey, Nahshon, hold this up. We're going to talk about this guy right here. You got to hold it up. I see his clip. We're going to talk about this guy right here. Where did this come from? Y'all know where this guy came from? This guy right here, the one they say is Jesus.
Oh, no, I don't know where he came from. That's the enemy.
Well, yeah, it's in churches, but they taught us this, right? Most of our grandparents or parents might have a picture of this guy somewhere, or we might see it throughout our family's houses. We grew up with this image, right? Thinking that was Christ, but yeah, we were brainwashed, and it's important to acknowledge that we were wrong. Read.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 4.
Bring it out.
And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you.
So this is the real Christ saying, take heed that no man deceive you. He's saying somebody's going to come and deceive you and do what?
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ.
There's going to be people coming saying that they are Christ. And that happened. There was somebody who came and said that that's Christ. Read.
And shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
He said, and it shall deceive many. This deceived many. This deceived us when we were younger. This deceived us a couple months ago. Some of us. This deceived us, our family, our parents, our grandparents. It deceived many. But you can't actually find this in the scripture, but Christ warned you of this. That's why they say, well, what does it matter what color he is? Because Christ said somebody gonna come and deceive you.
They did.
And they did.
They did.
It matters because you actually think that's Christ. That's why it matters what color he is, because the world thinks that's him. You go to Peru or Brazil, there's a giant Jesus statue going like this. And it's this guy. But that's not the real Christ. So why they say it, what they really mean when they say it don't matter, it's either he's white or it don't matter.
That's right.
Because whenever we say he's black, they say it don't matter. But when you see all the movies with a guy look like this, they don't say nothing.
Right.
So it's either he's white or it don't matter. That's what they're really saying.
Right.
Did y'all know that there's multiple prophets in the Bible that said that they were black?
That's right.
Let's get a few. Let's see if there's the prophets in the Bible claim that they were black.
Teach y'all.
They ain't gonna read this in church, but it's all throughout here.
That's right.
You know what I want, brother? Give me Job. Y'all know who Job is, right? You ever heard the story of Job? Okay, you never heard the story of Job. It's about a story. It's a history about how God brought judgment upon a man, and he didn't really do anything wrong. He allowed Satan to test his faith. Read.
The book of Job, chapter 30, verse 30.
Bring it out.
My skin is black upon me.
He said, my skin is black upon me. This is Job. Let's get Solomon. King Solomon, the wisest king in the whole world.
That's right.
Let's get him. You got that?
The book of Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5.
Get out.
I am black, but comely.
He said, I am black but comely, meaning I am black and beautiful. Y'all ever said we black and beautiful? Solomon said that. You people they don't tell us where that came from. King Solomon said that. There's multiple prophets that's in the Bible that's black.
Teach y'all.
Yeah, give me Paul. What do Egyptians look like? Ancient Egyptians, not the ones that's around there today. Those are Turks. Ancient Egyptians were black, right?
That's right.
So, if somebody were to confuse you with the Egyptian, you'd probably be black, right?
Right.
Okay, I see.
The book of Acts, chapter 21, verse 37.
Bring it
This
out.
is the Apostle Paul. This is a Christian's favorite prophet. Apostle Paul. Read.
And as Paul was to be led unto the castle, he said unto their chief captain, May I speak unto thee? Who said, Canst thou speak Greek?
So one of the guys was like, hey, yo, you can speak Greek? He's looking at Paul saying, yo, this guy, you can speak Greek, because it was a wonder that he was able to speak that language. Read.
Art not thou that Egyptian?
They said, how can you speak Greek? Aren't you that Egyptian? They said, how is an Egyptian guy, because Paul looked like an Egyptian, he looked like he was black. They said, aren't you Egyptian? How can you speak Greek? Did you know the Bible, they called the prophets niggers?
Wake him
Did you
up.
know they called the prophets niggers in the Bible?
Wake him up.
They said, ain't no way they called the prophets a nigger in the Bible.
Wake him up.
They said, there's no way that's in the Bible. Acts 13. The book of Acts, let's see if they were called niggers in the Bible.
Teach y'all.
Read.
Acts 13, verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon.
It said Barnabas and Simeon, which is Peter. The apostle Peter and Barnabas were called what?
That was called nigger.
They called them niggers in the Bible.
Teach y'all.
It called the apostle Peter a nigger in the Bible.
That's
Wake
right.
him up.
Nigger just means black. That's all the word means. It just means black. Come from the word Niger, Negro. It means black. They say, yo, these dudes are niggers. They would never read that in church, though. They would never read that in church. Heck no, they wouldn't read that in church. There's plenty of things in the Bible. You know, in slavery, there was only certain parts of the Bible you was allowed to read. You either had the white pastor read certain passages to you, and they wouldn't let you read anything else, or they would have some coon Negro that they taught to teach you certain passages in the Bible.
That's right.
But they wouldn't tell you that these certain things are in the scriptures. They wouldn't tell you that.
Colossians chapter 3, verse 22.
Bring it out.
Service, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh.
That's what they would tell you. Hey, servants, obey your masters. That's all they would teach you. They don't even know the context of what that scripture is talking about.
Right.
But they would say, servants, obey your masters. And that's what they would teach you in slavery. That's all they would teach you. Give me, let's go back to Deuteronomy, right? And let's get 64. Deuteronomy 20:64. That's about the wood and stone, right? Or scatter. One of them.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 64.
Get out.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth, even unto the other.
So God scattered the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans amongst all people. That's why you can go to Europe and see us there. You can go to Asia and see us there. Russia, we everywhere. God scattered us everywhere. But what are we going to do when we're there?
And there thou shalt serve other gods.
When we get to those lands, we're going to serve other gods. That's a curse, because we chose not to serve him.
Right.
It had a metaphor. He said we chose not to serve him. So we came to America, we served this. Even though this served this most places. We came to America, we served this guy. If we was in China, we served Buddha. If we was in Japan, we served whatever they serve over there.
Teach y'all.
If we was in, what's some other lands where they serve other gods? If we was in India, we served Hinduism. Wherever we was at, that's what God said we're going to do as a curse. Read.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Because our forefathers didn't know nothing about no Buddha, because Buddha was a real god, but he's not a god.
That's right.
Krishna is not real.
Right.
These other gods are not real.
That's right.
Zeus is not real. Jupiter, Mercury, these people are not real. The only real God is the God of the Bible.
That's right.
That's why he said you're going to serve gods which your father didn't know. This was a real man. This is not Christ, though. This is a dude named Caesar Borgia.
That's right.
He lived in the 1400s. He was the son of a pope. It's not a real God.
Right.
They're like, oh, man, we got to go. They said, oh, shoot, man. They said Christ ain't white. We got to go. They let him. But no, this is a real God. But he's not no God. He's a regular dude.
Right.
A regular human. But we serve gods that our forefathers didn't know as a curse. Read verse 61. Watch this one. This is one about the message.
Wake him
Verse
up.
61. Also, every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee.
He said every sickness and plague that's not written in the Bible, God's going to bring it upon our people. That's why sickness is running rampant amongst our people. We have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, gout, cancer, diabetes, all these things run rampant into our community because why? God said we didn't serve him, but also because we don't follow the dietary law.
That's right.
Get Leviticus 11:7.
Wake 'em up. Wake 'em up.
Leviticus 11:7. Watch this. They say, man, you don't got to do that no more. Okay, let's see what the Bible says.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 7.
Bring it out.
And the swan, though he divided the hoof, and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you.
He said the swine is unclean to you, but what do most of our people eat? Swine, bacon, hog maw, back. Our people tear that stuff up. Chitlin, chitterlin. Our people pigs meat. Our people eat that stuff, but God said we're not supposed to do that.
That's right.
There's a reason why he said don't eat the swine. It's a bottom feeder. A pig will eat another pig. Pig will eat doo-doo. And pigs don't digest their food in 4 hours. Pigs don't sweat. So whatever toxins that they have in their body, it stays in their body. It stays in the meat. So whatever a pig ate, if a pig ate some doo-doo or another pig, and you go buy it from the store, that's what you ate. That's what you ate. Whatever the pig ate, that's what you ate. Because it didn't digest the food, it didn't sweat out the toxins.
That's right.
That's why God said it's unclean. But you'll have people today say, well, we don't have to do that no more. Okay, then go eat a person then. Go eat a snake. Go eat a venomous snake. Go eat a poisonous frog. You can just eat whatever you want. But they won't say that.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.